What's stopping you from losing weight? Hi, my name is Dr. Aiken, and welcome back to part 4 in a series where I try to answer that question of what's really stopping you from losing weight. If you recalled in part 1, I told you that it was not your biology, it wasn't your sex, your age, or even the diet or exercise plan that you chose. I told you that it was your readiness, and specifically a type of readiness called unconditional readiness. And I told you that if you have that readiness, you will do it. Because when you have that readiness, you are 100% committed to see it done. It's almost like you now have a readiness to eat dinner this afternoon. So you know for sure you are going to eat dinner. And that is a type of readiness I want to give you when you know that it will be done. But how do you get that type of readiness? And that's what we addressed in part 2, where I told you that to get that type of readiness, you have to have a relentless drive, which means that you have to have that fuel to push you on a daily basis to get the job done. And it's not just motivation. I look at motivation like a feeling. It's almost like you're infatuated with someone. It's a feeling that will come and go. Unlike motivation, relentless drive is a fuel. It's an energy that you create. It's a skill that you develop. You think of it more like love. Love is something you create over time, and so the same with relentless drive. You have to make it happen. It just doesn't born into your life, or you just don't get it because you want it. And unlike motivation, which shows up, it's fickle. It shows up, depends on how you sleep, your mood, and all these other factors. Relentless drive is that fuel that you create to push you on a daily basis, and it will make you more motivated when you have your relentless drive. So the question you ask, how do I get my relentless drive? And that's what we talk about in the third part, which when we talk about the formula, which is this formula, and how to get your relentless drive. And we spoke about particularly the F in the formula, which we said it's your frustrations. Because the reality is, all of us are frustrated about some things. We are frustrated about what's going on in the society at this time. You may be frustrated about your bank account. You may be frustrated about how your kids or someone in your family is performing. We have frustrations. And the same goes for your weight loss journey. You are frustrated. You are frustrated in a way that you feel. You are frustrated even maybe in the way that you look. You may be frustrated in the way that your clothes fit you. You may be frustrated in many aspects of your life. And so what I told you in the last time, you need to know how to catalog those frustrations and then tap them in a manner to make them power you to fuel your relentless drive. But then I told you that even though if you tap your frustration and you're very frustrated, you get that frustration energy to pump and fuel you, it will get you maybe to start a plan or even to lose the weight. But somewhere along that journey, your frustration will run very low. And the reason why is that frustration only works if you have the issue still going on. So if you lose the weight, you no longer have a weight issue. So how can you be frustrated when the weight is gone? And as I told you the last time, some people, even when they get to 50% weight loss, most of that frustration dissipates. It will go away. So how do you keep that fuel going, that drive to keep going until the job is done, and then to maintain that weight loss for years upon years? And that's where the second part of the equation comes into play. The last time I put that, it should be CF, but don't worry. I'm changing it to CV so you won't be confused with this F. So what is CV? What does CV stands for? CV represents something, a force that will help you to get your relentless drive, and it also will help you to keep that relentless drive even when you have lost the weight. And so if you think about this force, the F, the frustration, I consider it a push force, and CV to be a pull force. So the frustration is what pushes you on a daily basis to do something. And the CV is something that's going to pull you to something more desirable. So what does CV stand for? CV stands for, and let me erase this part. CV stands for compelling vision. Compelling vision. A compelling vision is a sexy vision of the future that literally is so attractive that you want to get there. So it serves as a fuel to pull you to that future. Having a compelling vision in any aspect of your life is something remarkable because it literally set a point in the future where you have this desirable thing that you want, and then it kind of encourages you in such a way to think of ways to accomplish it, to make it happen. So how does this work? Let's use a scenario. I'm going to give you a case of a lady, say Mary. Mary is a 40-year-old lady who, after having 2 kids, have kept on extra weight, and she's now 200 pounds at 5 foot, say 2 inches, right? So Mary's mission is to lose about 50 to 60 pounds. So Mary did the frustrations, so she tapped into her frustration and she got frustrated. She got frustrated because her weight has caused her to now have to take medications for hypertension, have to take medications for diabetes, and also have to use a CPAP mask to sleep at night because the weight has caused her to have something called sleep apnea, which now she has to use this mask and put it on at night and make a lot of noise. Her husband is upset, so he hardly sleeps with her in the bed, which also makes her not so happy, more frustrated. And Mary not only have all these problems, now she also have joint pains, and she can't do the things that she wanted to do. And one of the things that Mary loves to do is to actually go to the beach and run in the sand, and also try to do windsurfing because that's something her father taught her. So this is Mary's frustration. Her weight is stopping her from doing the things that she loves, and her weight is also causing her to have a lot of issues medically and have to take medications on a daily basis. And Mary's story is very, very common. Many people find themselves in this situation. And while you could say that Mary could still do some of those stuff, even if she didn't lose weight, and that is true, from Mary's perspective, these things are essentially not done because of her weight. And one of the things that really affected Mary is the way she thinks of herself. She doesn't like when she looks in the mirror of what she sees. She doesn't like what she sees when she dresses herself. And of course, and Mary could say, well, she could change her perspective, which allow her to appreciate herself. But Mary is not into that. She believes she has to lose the weight to appreciate herself. So Mary essentially has this issue with her weight, and she's frustrated. And now she wants to lose that weight. But if Mary's frustration drives her to lose the weight, and she goes to lose the weight, it may not be enough to keep her there, because once the weight is lost, she needs more than just the weight, the frustration, to keep the weight off. And that is where having a compelling vision comes into place. So how do you get a compelling vision? Let's use, again, if you keep the story with Mary, how can we give Mary a compelling vision, right? Because she have the frustrations, and the frustration get her pent up to do things, but how can she get a compelling vision to also pull her to that desired future? And what Mary can do, the easiest way to do, is actually look at your frustrations and then create an opposite. So Mary, in the frustration one, mentally, she doesn't like the way she thinks about herself. And of course, you and I know that the way you think about yourself has nothing to do with your body. It's more with your thoughts, right? You change your thoughts, you change the way you think about yourself. But let's say that Mary cannot make that leap. She believes that she has to change herself. So it's simple that if Mary knows that her weight is causing the issue, when she looks in the mirror, she doesn't like what she sees. So if Mary can see a future where she visions whatever body that she thinks she has to have, and starts seeing herself, looking in that mirror, looking at herself in whatever form that she likes, and seeing that on a daily basis can be an exciting prospect. So she can literally see the opposite of what she wants in the future to be her compelling vision. The same thing with her medical conditions. Mary can see a future where she pick up that CPAP machine and throw it in the garbage because she no longer needs it to sleep at night. Where her husband is in the bed with her because the machine is no longer making noise and he's now comfortable sleeping with her. So you can see how powerful that is for Mary to see something tangible, something sexy in the future that is desirable, that would help her to meet the goals she wants to meet. And thirdly, Mary can also see that she can actually see herself going to the beach, running on the beach, going in the water and doing her windsurfing. Because she now knows that if she loses the weight, those things are going to become possible. Of course, she could do it without losing the weight, but that's Mary's story. And a lot of you guys have limited yourself because of your weight. And while you could get over it and accomplish things in your life, even without losing weight, for you, it's an impediment. So because it's an impediment that's affecting many aspects of your life, it would be amazing then if you could get control of it so you can get the future that you want. You can build that future. So having a compelling vision of where you want your health or your interests, by losing weight, where you could have those interests be, is amazing. And the same thing that you do with your frustrations, where you build your frustrations in your morning routine by you doing the temporal and the spatial summation. So temporal summation is that you repeat your frustrations, right? You repeat them one after the other. And you step into your frustration. And you feel that energy flows through you. And then you use that energy throughout the day to get stuff done. It's the same thing you can do with the compelling future. You can see where you want to go. Stop just saying, I want to lose weight. Be more bolder than that. It does, if you want to lose weight, what does it mean? Maybe you want to become a dance instructor. Maybe you want to learn how to play certain sports. Maybe you want to hike all the national parks, climb mountains. I don't know. You know what you are interested to. You know what your weight is stopping you from doing. And even though you could do it probably without losing weight, somehow in your head, you are allowing that weight to stop you. So you have to get rid of that excess weight so you can have that freedom to get what you want. And that is what the power, using the power of a compelling vision. It is a sexy vision of where you want to go in the future, what you can do when you lose the weight. So don't just say, I want to lose weight. Create a vision that you see yourself living a different life because you lose weight. A life that means a lot to you, a life that taps into your interests, your desires. And I assure you, if you do that, you will have a bigger reason, a more powerful reason, and a bigger drive to pull you and push you to that desired future. So my friends, if again, as usual, that is, by the way, the formula. Tap into your frustrations, tap into your compelling vision to get that relentless drive, to get that unconditional readiness, to get that body that you want. And I believe that this is the key for many people to tap into that power of their internal energy and use that to fulfill their dream. So if you believe that this concept is something helpful to you, don't forget to like, share, or comment. And as usual, I want you to continue to work to be the boss of your weight loss.